Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Daniel and welcome back to my channel. So, today's video is going to be about 10 different things that I remember about school. And I think a lot of the things I'm going to talk about happen in a lot of other schools as well, so hopefully people who watch this video can relate to them. So the first thing I remember about school is something that happened in primary school. Now, I hope this happened in other schools and not just me, but this was something that the lads used to always do in my primary school, and that was when we went to the bathroom and we needed to go for a pee, we would stand at the urinal and for some reason we would pull our trousers all the way down to our ankles and just pee. We'd have our arses showing off and we didn't care. It seemed to be the acceptable thing to do. And I look back on it and I don't understand why we just didn't think of just pulling it over the top or just unzipping and poking it through and peeing. But it just seemed to be something that we did and I don't know why we did it. I honestly don't know why. So the second thing I remember is something that happened in music lessons in high school. Now, it would usually happen when the teacher was in the middle of saying something, you would be sitting there and then out of nowhere, all you would hear was the words DJ. And then you knew exactly where it had come from. It had come from some rebel sitting at the back with one of those huge electronic keyboards that had buttons such as the DJ button, some buttons that made some weird human moaning and groaning noises. And you also had the dictionary button, which if you clicked that button quick enough, you'd make it sound like it was saying the word dick, because that was the cool thing to do back then. So the third thing I remember about school was IT lessons. Now, as soon as you'd go into your IT class, you would log on the computer and the first thing you would do was you'd start playing games on there. Back then, the main thing we used to play was stick cricket, but I think one of the main websites that everybody went on was miniclip.com. And you would play these games up until either your teacher told you to get off them or our teacher was able to see on her screen what we were doing and she would just block us from the internet straight away. And when she did that, it was absolutely heartbreaking. It was as if the world had ended. So the fourth thing I remember about high school was something that I never personally did. I thought it was disgusting, but when people were finished eating their chewing gums, they would just take it out of their mouth and stick it under the table. Now that's something I never did. Like I said, I thought it was horrible, but I always remember that if we ever got caught doing it, our teachers would threaten us by saying they'd make us come back at the end of the day and scrape up all the chewing gum off the bottom of the tables, so I didn't fancy doing that. Also with chewing gum, I remember how people used to disguise putting chewing gum into their mouth. So I think a favourite of people's was the one where they used to pretend to cough, put the hand over the mouth and then put the gum in that way. Or my personal favourite was I just have my hand on my chin like this, pretend to wipe my mouth, and no one ever knew. Simple as that. So the fifth thing I remember was the PE lessons in high school. Now I still love PE, I'm quite a sporty person myself, but the one thing I used to hate was cross country. One reason, it was a lot of running, and two, it used to make us do it pretty much in the winter, and we had to run down one of the main roads outside of our school. We would start off at the top, our teacher would be there to see us off, and then about halfway down you would see him drive down in his car. He would drive to the end just to make sure that we all got there because we had to touch a bridge, and then we had to run back up, and then he would drive all the way back up and meet us at the top. But you'd get those typical people who wouldn't do the whole run. They would probably hide off somewhere and wait until they start seeing people running back up, and then they would just join in as if they've just been all the way to the end and come back. So the sixth thing I remember is something back in primary school now. For some reason, joining the choir seemed to be a thing to do. I mean, I joined, I never had a good voice back then. I still don't have a good voice, I can't sing. Yet for some reason I joined the choir. And I think I was the only boy to join the choir as well. And I look back now and I honestly don't know why I did it. So the seventh thing I remember about school was again something in primary school that used to happen to me all the time, and that was accidentally taking other people's stuff home at the end of the day. So for example, jumpers, a coat or a bag. We used to share a cloakroom with other classes and it happened all the time. You'd end up taking home someone else's coat or bag because they got the same one as you. And I think the most annoying part was that you wouldn't realise you were taking someone else's until you had actually gotten home. And you would tell your mum and she'd be like, well, there's nothing we can do, we have to wait till tomorrow. And yeah, it was just so annoying. So the eighth thing I remember about school was something that happened in high school, and it would happen when you first walked into your class. You'd sit down, Your teacher would turn to you and say, okay class, today we're going to be watching something. She would go out, she would wheel in that TV, everybody's faces would light up, you'd look at your friend, you'd be like, yes, get in, and you knew it was going to be a good day. However, there were times where you'd walk into class and the TV would already be there, and you'd look at your friend again like, yes, we're watching something, and then your teacher would turn around and she would look at the class and say, oh no, that was for the class before, we're not watching anything today. And hearing that was just horrible, absolutely heartbreaking. So the ninth thing I remember about school, it was something that happened in high school for me, and I think this sentence was something that everybody said at some point. It would always happen at the end of the day, as you're walking out of school with your friend, before you both go your separate ways, one of you would look at the other and say, are you going on MSN when you get in? Of course they were going on MSN when they get in. It was a question that didn't need asking. So the final thing I remember about school is probably the last day as you're about to leave school. Now, in high school, I think the final day is just a typical day. You sort of go around signing people's shirts. You sign people's shirts who you've never even spoke to through the whole of school. And then for us, for some reason, we went behind our school. We got a grass bank there, and for some reason the lads went sliding down there on their stomachs. Don't know how we did it, but I think in primary school, the last day there is probably more interesting because you get people crying because their brothers are leaving, because their sisters are leaving, and I don't know why they cry, because they live with them, because they're going to see them again. But I think the people who enjoy the last days the most in primary school are the people who are in year 5, because they know that they're going up to year 6 and they know they're going to be able to take their rightful place on those benches in assembly. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Thank you for watching. I really enjoyed making it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and I'll have another video out next week, and I shall see you when I see you. Bye.